almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home, take me, I know you know this, to the place I belong. I belong, West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home, country roads. All my memories gather round her, modest lady, stranger to blue water. Your ride's here. Dark and dusty, faded. Is that ice cream? Is that ice cream? Faded on the sky. Misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country roads, take me home. To the place I belong. I belong. Take me home, country roads. I hear her voice in the morning hour as she calls me. Radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down that road, I get a feeling I should have been home yesterday. Your part. Yesterday. Country roads, take me home. Do this 3 more times. To the place, just twice actually.
I'm Lori Joachim Fredrics, and I'm here today talking to Al Bazaz from the No Discipline band. No Discipline is a reggae band that is a real favorite here in Park Ridge. In fact, this coming summer, they're going to be doing 2 concerts, one on August 3rd and one on August 31st. Al and I go way back.
Yes, we do.
Might come up in our conversation.
Okay.
So it's a pleasure.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So tell me about the show that you're going to be bringing here.
Well, every year we've been playing at the Veterans Park, I believe is Memorial Park. Is that what it's called?
I believe so.
Very nice, over by the gazebo in Park Ridge. And we bring the reggae show to the people of Park Ridge, and it's been a wonderful experience year after year. Really have a lot of fun doing it.
Tell me about the musicians that will be playing with you.
Well, my brother Mike Bazaz and I started the band in 1983.
Wow.
And there's been a variety of players in and out of No Discipline ever since. For this year, you'll be seeing a Don Pro on drums and a Jamaican drummer and a Jamaican bass player, either Chris Joshua or Sela Jendai, and King Jaguar fronting the band. And that's about it. Maybe a different percussionist, someone, Judd Davies or Mike Blau. It's a variety of players.
Right, so it's going to be a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's always at least a 5-piece group, though.
Yeah.
And always your favorite reggae hits.
Absolutely, and some original songs too.
A lot of original songs,
and some of them are my favorites.
Thank you.
Thank you. I like that song, Making Me Sweat, or what's the...
Sweat is by
Sweat.
Inner Circle, that one.
Oh, okay, so that,
Girl,
yeah.
I wanna make you sweat.
Right, okay, so that's not an original one.
No.
Okay, so what original one do you think that you might
I think
be
we might
playing?
do like Walking Down the Street.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking to myself, I'm doing all right without you. Walking down the street, thinking to myself, what am I gonna do without you? Something like that.
Right, that's cool. So tell me, how did you get interested in reggae? We knew each other way back, and I remember this developing sort of right before you started your band.
Well, there were 2 defining moments that reggae music became really important to me. The first one was that I was driving through New York City with a friend of mine, and Bob Marley came on the radio. And at the time, it was probably about 1982, 81 even, Bob Marley came on the radio, and I thought, what is this music? This is the greatest thing that I've ever heard, and I just loved it.
I have to
I
agree
just
with
loved
you.
it, and I'm a big fan of the beach and the ocean, and you know, I just loved that reggae sound. It just totally inspired me. And then the second thing was, Bob Marley came to me in a dream and said, "You must play the reggae."
Really? That is, you're kidding.
No, I'm serious.
That is great.
So
love
I said
that.
to my brother, who at the time, actually my brother, it was a coincidental thing. My brother had called me and he said, they need a band for a club on Long Beach Island. And I said, well, what do you want to play? You want to play rock and roll? You want to play country music? What do you want to play? And he said, I think reggae would go over really well. So we put the band together, and the next thing we knew, now it's 35 years later.
Wow.
So that's really the origins of the band.
So, yes, there was something really awesome about reggae music.
I love it.
And you know that I love it too, because I'm the person that's dancing around like a crazy fool
yeah.
at your band, because I cannot sit still. And this is a beat, this is a feeling,
Yeah.
I think, that energizes you and yet chills you out. Can you explain the elements of a reggae beat?
You know, reggae is a feeling. People are great musicians, but they can't play reggae for some reason. You have to really, it's like a great jazz musician. Someone who's really great at jazz, that's what they play. Reggae, you have to be born to play reggae. I mean, I play other types of music, but I just love reggae so much. And you really have the backbeat. Up before dawn, out on the road, deep down in Mexico. That's not Jamaica, but on the ocean, waiting for a wave. That's kind of jazzy. It's the life that I want to live.
Wow.
That's kind of like a minor thing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really, everything's based on it's funny, reggae is really 4 parts. You have the drums and the bass, that's 2 parts. Then you have the rhythm, and then you have the fill, which would be the keyboard, or in our band, I'm the fill on the lead guitar.
Okay.
And I'll be doing. And my brother will be doing the chop. And then the bass
Maybe
player,
on keyboards sometimes?
Yep, and then the bass player will be like.
Yep, so it all
And the
comes
drummers,
together.
It's called the one drop, that you drop the beat.
Right,
And then, of course, we do soca and calypso too.
right.
But
Which
when we
all
first
goes with
started,
it.
we were really a hardcore, rootsy reggae original band. And then over the years, we broadened ourselves to do more commercial music to earn a living.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we have produced and released 15 CDs,
Wow.
all original music, and we've produced and released 3 or 4 cover CDs as well.
So there's a huge repertoire that you guys have.
I would say No Discipline at any gig could call upon 500 songs, and everybody's been playing for so many years. It's just basically what key.
So tell me about your brother and you. When did you start playing music?
My brother and I played music together. I think I was about maybe 25 and he was 19, 20. We started to play acoustic guitars. We played all the folk music, all the Bob Dylan and that kind of stuff. And
So you never played
Not-
together as kids. You were
not
adults
as
already.
kids, as adults.
Wow.
I was out of college already.
Yeah.
But we actually had work. We actually played
Wow.
and earned some money playing music, so that was great. It's been a really fun thing to do.
So how did you discover that you wanted to play music and make this, your...
You know, music's the kind of thing that chooses you. You don't really choose music. I started taking guitar lessons when I was about, I guess, 12 or 13, maybe, yeah. And I just loved the guitar. There wasn't a day that didn't go by that I didn't pick up my guitar and play it. You know, I never was really much of a side man. I was more of a writer of music and a teacher.
So what was your instrument in college?
I took trombone. I played trombone, but I actually earned a living, made a few bucks playing guitar in a couple of little cafes and clubs to
So
make
you were
some.
always playing the guitar.
Always played
That
guitar.
is your
I always played
your
guitar
love.
and sang. I have a big book at home of the songs that I played when I just played acoustic guitar and sang. Lots of Bob Dylan stuff, you know.
What about your singing? How did you develop your voice? You have a great voice.
Thank you
I've
so much.
always thought so.
I don't really consider myself a singer. You're more of a singer than I am, really, like a studied singer. But I do have what I do. I think I'm pretty good at what I do. But I have a softer voice, and I would say more of a stylist. I'm more of a song stylist than an actual singer.
Right. Did you ever study?
I did. I studied more voice after school, after I graduated from college. Of course, I was in all the choirs in college, but I never really studied voice. I was studying trombone and piano and
Music.
education.
Right.
Yeah, education, theory, and you know, counterpoint and all that. But when I got out of school, the reason I began to take vocal lessons from a very famous teacher, Claire Alexander, was because I had injured my voice from singing improperly, and she got me back on track.
Right.
And
So it's always better to learn your technique before, as I said.
you are absolutely correct.
Right, but it's good that you learned it, and you've been singing beautifully for decades.
It's true.
Right.
You should, if you're having problems with your voice, get some lessons. Now you teach lessons.
Yes, I teach singing technique.
That's awesome. Yeah, you really need to have good technique, so you don't injure your voice.
No matter what style
No
you
matter
sing,
what style.
you have to know how to breathe. You have to know all those things.
Yep.
Now, your lead singer, frontman that you call him,
Jaguar. Yep.
Jaguar, right? He's great.
Yeah.
And a lot of singers, and there's some singers that sit in with you who are awesome too.
Yeah.
So Jaguar, is he the one that does the reggae rapping?
Yeah, that's what he does. The
Is there
dance
a
hall.
word for that? Reggae rapping?
There's different styles of rapping. There's dance hall. There's, I guess, I don't know. You know, that's really not my genre. You know, but I love it.
Right.
I love it, and I've actually even written some. You know, let's see here. If you are a rocker, come rock with me. If you love the reggae music, come and be free. Into heaven, metal, gotta let it shine. If you are a wallflower, don't be shy. When you hear the reggae music in a rubbed up style, rhythm and the rhyme gonna make me smile. When I hear the drums and bass guitar, I have no choice but to get up on the dance floor. There is no substitute for love.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, but a lot of the things Jaguar writes, a lot of his own
Raps to
his
your
own raps,
music?
and then he does a lot of the standard reggae stuff, like her pretty face and bad character. It's the kind of love I can hold, chaka. Her pretty face and bad character. Then my kind of love I can hold, chaka. Girl, you're pretty. You know.
Yeah,
I mean, I could do a little bit of it, but I'm really not Jamaican, so.
Right.
The best thing about No Discipline is a groove band. You'll know every song that we play, and you'll dance to every song.
Well, I will.
It's definitely a family show. People really like the music.
Absolutely. And what's wonderful is that it's a live show. So what
Love
do you
that.
think of today's music scene, where a lot of it is people listening through the computer? What is it about a live show that is so special?
Well, the spontaneity is something that you can never recreate. You want to have, that's the art form, to really perform for people.
Tell me about your instrument.
It's all good.
Sorry.
This is a Taylor guitar.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not big on like technical things.
Right.
I'll tell you what it is. It's a 214 CE.
And is that your favorite one?
I don't have a lot of guitars. I have only maybe 5 guitars, but this one feels
Only
real nice
5.
to me. Well,
I know
guitar
people
players
have,
have 60 guitars.
yeah.
They're crazy. But this is a nice, comfortable guitar, and it has the electronics. It's not the top of the line or anything, but it has a real nice sound, and it plays real It plays great.
But you play a solid body guitar too, sometimes with the band, because you're playing lead.
I play the Strat in the band,
Right.
or a Telly. Not too much a Telly, but I'm a Fender guy. I like Fender guitars, so I play the Strat, and been playing that guitar for 35 years in No Discipline.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you like about the New Jersey music scene?
You know, there's
this
so
area?
many talented musicians in New Jersey that are lawyers, doctors, bankers, teachers, / musicians. And then there's so many really great musicians that have actually been able to make a living with music. So that's great. And I just,
And you're a part of that scene.
I'm part of that scene, and I'm proud to be a part of it. And I feel pretty blessed that I'm still healthy enough to do it.
Absolutely.
Staying healthy.
And because you have some athletic hobbies, because I know that you're a surfer.
I love to still surf. I still manage to get out there and do some surfing. And my son and I, we go skateboarding, and we like that. And got to stay active. And I still teach kindergarten through 5th grade
Wow.
music. So
And you're inspiring all those kids.
that's pretty physical.
So what does the future hold for this band that had such a great past?
Well, I think No Discipline will continue on as long as we are
Yay.
healthy enough to do it. We're getting older, and it's a consideration. But I don't think we'll ever retire. I mean, there'll be some form of No Discipline till the end.
Yay!
Yay, till the very end.
Well-
See, nice thing about reggae is you can play reggae if you're 80 years old. You can still play reggae. It's not like you're doing that hardcore rock and roll. Reggae is timeless music.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks, Lori.
So I'm really looking forward to coming to these shows
I
this
can't wait.
summer.
I can't
and
wait.
Yay! And
Thanks
thank
for
you
having
so
us.
much for being here, and say hi to all the guys in your band.
Yep.
Want to play something?
One love,
Yay!
one heart. Let's get together and feel all right.
All right. Thanks, Al.
Thanks for having me. Good seeing
Ciao.
you. Don't forget to practice your guitar.
I will. I'm Lori Joachim Fredrics, and I'm really pleased to be here today with Alice Leon of the Alice Leon Duo, who will be performing on August 10th at 7 o'clock, I believe, till 8:30 on our concert series. Hi, Alice. How are you doing today?
Hi, Lori. I'm great.
Can you tell us about what you'll be presenting on the 10th of August and who will be playing with you?
Well, I'm really excited that we're going to have Jimmy Leahy, who is a supremely talented guitar player. He tours with Dennis DeYoung from Styx,
Wow.
among others, and we've written 5 albums together. And he is going to be accompanying me, so that's going to be super fun. And looks like we're going to have a special guest, so it's not going to be a duo, it may be a trio of Al Green, who plays with Neil Berg. He's a bass player.
I hope that'll happen.
Yeah, I hope so too. And he also plays drums at the same time. So it could end up being the
Wow.
duo turns into a quartet.
Awesome.
So I think that's going to happen.
And what music are you going to be playing? Stuff you wrote?
Well, I am an interpreter of
Okay.
songs. So I'm going to be playing great songs from the great songwriters, everything from Irving Berlin to Carole King to me.
Wow.
And I'm gonna
what,
be in-
What
and
Carole
Beatles.
King songs do
Oh,
you do? I love her stuff.
Beautiful. And right, Beautiful, and I'm going to do some Beatles songs, but in a different way.
In your
Trust
way.
me, in my way.
What is an Alice Leon song? And what is how do you make someone else's song an Alice Leon song?
I think that my approach to music is everything that I do, people say it sounds very hopeful. And so
We need that. We need
and,
that.
And I love great vocalists and I love great stylings. So can I give you an example?
Please.
So that sounds a little bit like Peggy Lee, right?
Could be.
Picture yourself in a boat on a river with tangerine trees, marmalade skies. Somebody calls you, you answer quite slowly. A girl with a kaleidoscope eyes. something like that.
Sounds great.
Loose. So anyway, it's something like that. I'm not going to give it all away.
No,
but
don't give it away.
I like to take songs and change them and make them mine. So
see, I used to do that song a long time ago. I wouldn't have ever thought of that feel.
Right.
And what makes someone a good cover artist rather than a top 40-ish cover artist is when you take that song and you make it your own, sort of like the way Ava Cassidy did, right?
Please.
Yeah.
My favorite.
All right.
So, yeah, so, or like, I'm trying to think. Right? So that's a Bo Diddley beat.
Yep.
And so I love the Beatles, right? When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help in any way. So
Wonderful.
we're always going for something.
I'm
a little bit different.
excited. I'm even more excited. And first of all, I saw your videos on your website, and I'm a new fan, and now I'm even more of a new fan. Can you tell me about this wonderful instrument that you brought today? I'm just coveting it as someone who tries to play guitar.
Well, for a lot of people that come to see me, there's a lot of people that really love different those really expensive guitars. And this particular guitar, I purchased after I was about to go on tour with a half-body Yamaha. And my keyboard player said, if you show up with that thing, I'm not getting on the plane.
And why was that? What was
because
wrong?
it was
I have a Yamaha guitar.
and slim, and it was high-endy. Anyway, I saw this on the wall. It was far more expensive than I wanted to spend, but the salesman was very smart, and he said, play it.
Is that your favorite instrument?
This is. I love this instrument.
It's beautiful.
And I don't think I'm a very great guitar player, but I think it helps.
I think you are.
It helps. It helps me.
And tell me about what other instruments you play.
Oh gosh, I play every instrument very mediocrely. Is that a word? But I
musicians can often find their way around different instruments.
I can play. I play the ukulele. That's another instrument I play. I started playing piano when I was very young. I love the piano. But I think probably my main instrument is my voice. I consider that my main instrument.
Did you train your voice? I'm interested in that particularly as I'm a singing teacher.
Right, yep.
And so what I heard from your singing, this is going to get a little technically, but you sound like a higher voice singing in the rock style, and that I would say that you use sort of a mixed belt. Did you study?
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Or are you natural? Or both?
Oh, I was a super shy kid. Nobody knew, even through high school, that I could sing. And I used to record myself all the time and sing along and figure out every possible harmony to every song I was listening to.
Wow.
And Queen and Beatles, and I would just sing all those. It probably wasn't until college that I started to sing, and then when I started singing in front of a drummer and electric guitars and all that, and I realized I had to sing louder and louder and louder, I started to lose my voice.
Did you need to sing louder, or did you have bad monitors?
Well, I had guitar players that would only touch the knobs on their amplifiers and not turn them down.
Oh, well, have you figured out the secret, which is to make your lead guitarist turn their volume all the way up, and then check that for the sound check. That's their level.
Right.
Right. Because if you do the sound check where their knobs are down, their egos will make them just blow you away.
Well, now you tell me.
Yeah. Right. Because you've only been doing this 30 years.
Okay.
Right.
No.
As
Now I happen to work with such phenomenal musicians that really do understand the dynamics of how it should sound, and so they're completely respectful of where I am in the mix.
So can you tell me a little bit about what your experience is of being a woman in the music industry, being a female artist? Because I know there's a lot of divergent opinions from my friends that are women in the music business.
Well, I was thinking about that. I don't really know because I've only been a woman. And so I don't know what the difference really is. I do know that I am a woman in a sea of men, and I generally have done more music and more gigs with men accompanying me, although I have quite a few women friends now that I duo with and trio with. I don't know if it's difficult, if it's more difficult. I just know that this is my instrument, and I've just always just followed my own path and do what I love. So I don't know if it's, I guess I don't know how I've been perceived by men. I don't know.
So let me ask you, when did you decide to become a performer? Was there a particular moment? Was there an artist you saw on TV and said, I want to do that? Was it just always obvious that it's what you wanted to do?
No, it was not obvious. I just loved to sing, and I loved to play guitar, and I loved to play piano, and loved to write music more than anything. That was just always seemed to be my path. And one thing led to another. I was in England, we were talking about that a little bit, and I brought my guitar with me, and I was just asked to play in the pub. And so I did.
In an English pub?
In an English
this
pub.
happened in
At
an
18
English,
years
so
old.
much happens in English pubs.
And I had never sung in front of anyone. I mean, I didn't even sing in front of my mom because I really didn't want anybody to hear me.
Really?
And somehow this group of crazy Brits got me to go out and play some music, and I liked the way people reacted to it, especially my own songs.
Okay.
So when I came back, I started to do it more in school. I went to Rutgers, and then from there I started getting gigs in the city, and it's just kind of never stopped.
How awesome. That's really cool. There's a trend amongst young people in the industry where these days they write music and they create the music on a computer. In fact, some of them don't even learn to play instruments. When I was in England, I was on a bus, I was teaching music there, and a young man said to me, oh, I wish I had had time to learn an instrument, but I never had time, but I'm producing music. What do you think of that trend, or do you think it's important to play instruments? And
I think it's just another aspect of music. I think that there's, you know, there are different trends, but I think there's still a ton of people learning instruments. There's a ton of people learning, learning music maybe through this way, where a lot of kids are introduced to music in 4th grade. They're given a violin or they're given a saxophone. They don't enjoy it. They put it down and they never pick up music again, and they lose out. And I think, when you get GarageBand on your phone and you realize, hey, I can sing along with those loops, and maybe it's just bringing music to a lot more people that generally felt it was inaccessible. But I don't think that really impinges on people learning their instruments. I think it's just two different paths. That's what I think.
That's interesting. So as I was reading your website, I found out that you have an ability with tennis, and that you've done a lot of tennis playing. And my interest in that is, do you see a connection between sports psychology and performance psychology? I kind of see that connection, but I'm not an athlete.
Absolutely. As a little girl, I had 2 dreams. One was I was going to be a great songwriter, and I just loved to song. And the other was I was going to be at Wimbledon. I was going to be a top tennis player. And when I was a little girl, sports were really not something that seemed important to girls. And it wasn't really pushed. And there were very limited women that you would even see doing sports. In fact, I was just noticing, I'm not going to get political, but I just opened up the sports pages the other day.
To get political.
And I just I went through 25 pages of sports on the Sunday paper, and there was not one woman or girl mentioned.
Interesting, because
not one photograph.
As a little kid, I remember, Nadia Comaneci, I remember Dorothy Hamill, I remember all of these women stars.
You focused on that.
On on tennis players as well. But so I guess I didn't notice their absence as much.
It's really absent, and if you are watching this,
I was seeking it out.
Go take a look. You won't find any women in the sports page. It's very rare. Regardless of that, I had this great dream that I was going to be a great tennis player, and I worked so hard at it. And I think that the focus and the kind of seeing that goal at the end and staying physically fit, and then putting yourself on stage, which is just like on a musical stage, when you're at an important tournament and you've got to make a shot, and it's got to be right, and all the stuff you've been rehearsing, there is a big connection. So
I can imagine.
As a little girl, I dreamed that. So I played right through high school. I started in college. I decided not to play in college. After the first semester, I didn't have in those days they didn't give women scholarships. So it didn't really make a whole lot of sense for me. I just wanted to focus on my studies. Fast forward 10 years after that, after college, I was approached by, I was teaching tennis as well to make my music, pay for my music habit. And I was approached by a young player who asked me to coach her specifically, and then she went pro.
Wow!
And,
so you
asked me to come along.
started someone's
So,
career out.
so, as I said, I had that little dream as a girl, but then I got to be at Wimbledon, and I coached at the French Open, and
wow,
and the Australian Open, and 7 U.S. Opens.
So there's a lot of psychology in there when you're coaching someone in order to achieve what they can.
So I understood the difference. I understood what it meant to be on a center court, because I'd been on big stages at that point, to get onto center court and be great at that moment and dig deep.
So what are the challenges and the good parts about doing an outdoor show, like the kind of one that you're going to bring to Park Ridge on August 10th at 7 o'clock?
Gosh, I think the challenges are, well, there's a train behind us.
All right.
And so last year we played, and we were in the middle of a song, and bam, the train came by, and so that's a challenge.
A train song? Do you
so we started, I hear the train a-coming, so we just went into that.
Right.
And then when it went, then we started again.
But it's a great opportunity for people to see an artist up close, a really fine artist. A lot of times people go to see shows and they're in a stadium and everybody's like, "Can I see you?" And they get So
and then outside, sometimes just getting the sound right can be a little bit of a challenge. But can I tell you about that park where we play?
Please.
This is a little bit astonishing. So my stepfather, his name is on the statue out front. Him and his brother, because he's from Park Ridge, and he
a Park Ridge connection. What is his name?
Fredric Ch.
Okay.
And he recently passed away about 6 weeks ago.
Wow.
But last summer when I was here, I took a photograph and I sent it to him, and he was thrilled to see his name on it because he hadn't come to see it.
So that's a really special place for you.
It is
that's
a special
really
place.
cool.
In fact, after this, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to take a photograph and send it to my mom.
Aww.
So she knows I'm thinking about Fred.
How amazing.
So it's called Yellow, and I thought about what makes me happy, and I love the color yellow.
Yellow.
So it goes like this.
Like your hair.
Sunflowers on my mind, sunshiny, sunny skies. Yellow makes me happy. I got no time for blue. Making a plan, make no plans when I'm with you. When I'm with you. Ooh, when I'm with you. Ooh, sailing on a big blue sea. Starry skies twinkling just for me. Pinching myself, is this a dream? Like a bowl of peach ice cream. All I hear are happy songs in the key of C. Making a plan and make no plans. Making a stand and make no stands when I'm with you. When I'm with you. When I'm with you. When I'm with you.
Woo! It was really hard to not sing along with you right now. But if you play that this summer from the audience, I will be singing along with you.
And I love sing-alongs, so whenever, a lot of times when I'm going to do songs, not that anybody's under any pressure, but I would love you to sing along with me, because it is the most wonderful thing to sing. So I'll do a song that is become a favorite of mine. recently. I wrote it with a group of seniors because I do songwriting, and I use this with people that some of them were suffering from Alzheimer's, and we got together, and I gave them a title, a song title, and it was called Roll On Silver Moon. And I said, what does that sound like? And they all agreed it was an old cowboy song.
Oh, okay, we're getting
So this is an old cowboy song that I recently wrote.
Fantastic.
Riding down that lonely trail, roll on, silver moon. I see your face in the light. Roll on, silver moon. I'm in wistful too. Roll on, roll on, roll on. How long will it be till I see her again? I'll be counting the days. Oh, until then, I'll be riding down that lonely trail. Roll on, silver moon. I'm in wistful tune. I'm in wistful tune. I'm in wistful tune. Roll on, roll on, roll on. Ooh, 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 ooh.
That's so evocative. I just love it. I just love it. It just brings you to another place.
Exactly,
Thank
and
you.
that's what I say about music. And if you open yourself up to listening to songs and music, as you know,
Yeah.
it really
That
can.
really moved me, Mr. Gorgeous.
It's magical, right?
Yeah,
Yay,
absolutely.
thank you, Lori.
I'm a new fan.
And I'm yours.
All right. Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you. See you on August 10th with the great Jimmy Leahy and Al Green.
Yay!
Yay.
Today I'm here with Tim Gysin, who will be performing in our concert series on August 17th. And I'm pleased to say that he's a wonderful singer and piano player. So welcome.
Thank you for having me. This is going to be fun.
Absolutely. Can you tell me a little bit about the show that you'll be presenting on the 17th? What kind of music you'll be playing?
Yep. So my show, typically, music ranges from anywhere from 60s music to today's music. So you'll find stuff by the Four Seasons, The Temptations, Beatles, Billy Joel, Elton John. And then you'll even find stuff like Ed Sheeran, Bruno Mars, Katy Perry maybe. So
Okay.
it ranges. It's a very wide range of music. So I tend to find people who are my age at the shows. I tend to find people who are much older. So I try to cater to every age group with music selection.
Awesome. And will you be playing by yourself, or are other musicians going to be there?
Yes, I'm going to be solo for that one.
Fantastic.
So it'll just be me, the piano, and the microphone, and that's it.
Right. And what do you like about performing that as a solo artist?
Solo artists, I mean, playing with a band is a lot of fun. The energy is always great with the drummer and a guitar player. But when I'm by myself, it's always much easier for me to just kind of take control of the whole crowd. It's a more different experience with the solo show. With the band, it's usually just one song after the next, everyone dancing and singing along and all that. And with the solo thing, I like to take requests and kind of do things on the fly. So for this show, I'm going to have absolutely nothing prepared for the show except for the setup. I have my song list, and I'll pick a couple songs to start off with, and then I'll say, go ahead and throw some requests out. And then people can throw requests out. If I know the song, then that'll be easy. But if I don't know the song, then I have my iPad. I can pull up the words, and usually I'll pull off a song just like that.
Right.
If I've heard it on the radio enough times. So
So you pull up a digital fake book of some kind that you
Actually,
can...
it's just lyrics. It's only
Okay.
lyrics. The music, I kind of make up something to fit what's going on with the lyrics.
Okay.
And it usually comes out good if I've heard the song and I'm familiar with the song.
Or you just create something, right?
Exactly, and it always turns into my own kind of creation. So.
Wonderful. So can you tell me a little bit about the instrument you'll be playing? Because you'll play a keyboard. Can you tell me about the model? I'm interested in those things.
Yeah, so I'm playing a Roland RD700. That's the type of keyboard. It's an 88 key keyboard, nice weighted keys. It feels very close to a grand piano.
Oh, fantastic.
Which is good for me because that's how I started.
Does it have a bunch of different sounds?
It does, and when I play with the band, I use those sounds, but for solo, I just stick with a piano sound.
All right.
So I just kind of make it sound like I'm playing the piano and singing. But when I play with the band, I use an organ sound, I'll use a synthesizer, strings, so I kind of utilize many other different instruments. But for solo, it'll just be the piano sound.
Oh, great. So can you tell me a little bit about how you became interested in playing the piano and what your training is? And did you take many, many years of piano lessons?
I did.
Uh-huh. And what kind of music did you play?
I was classically trained, so I was doing a lot of classical music. My cousins, who are 5 years and 7 years older than me, were playing piano when they were younger, and I would go over to their house and I'd see them playing. They'd play The Entertainer, the Star Wars theme, and all those things.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, I want to do that. So I asked my mom for lessons, and she said, you're 2 years old. No one's going to give a 2-year-old lessons. And I said, I really want piano lessons. And sure enough, we found someone that would teach a 2-year-old.
So you started when you were 2.
Yes.
So you grew up just playing the piano. That's
Pretty much my whole
fantastic.
life I've been at the piano.
What was it about the instrument as a 2-year-old? The sound of it, the look of it. What was it about it that fascinated you?
I have no clue. It's something about it I really liked, and I didn't know what it was at the time. But I came to really love it and appreciate it more as time went on. So I really don't know what it was about that. Maybe it was just them playing music. I don't know.
Seeing other people do it and the instrument as well. So you started studying classical music, but now you're playing rock music. So I have a 2-part question for you. The first one was, what made you decide to start playing the rock music, and what from your classical training, what does that aid you in your playing of rock music? How does that help?
Sure. So I took classical lessons for 10 years. So my schedule kind of got a little busy with school and everything. So right around end of 7th grade was when I stopped with the piano lessons. And the classical music, it was difficult, and it wasn't something I particularly enjoyed too much at the time. And then now I realize that that's really come in handy now. And it was in 8th grade. A lot of my friends were playing in a band. They wanted to start a band. I had a lot of friends that played guitar. I had a friend who played drums and bass. And they needed a singer. So they came up to me and they said, you do the plays, you sing in the plays, you should come sing in our band. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not really much of a singer. I'm more of a keyboard player, piano player. And they were like, well, you could bring that in the band too. Maybe that'll add something to it. So I'm like, okay. So I had stopped playing piano for a couple months, seriously. Like, I was just kind of, it was just kind of in the house. And with the classical music, I wasn't too interested in playing music anymore at that point. And then when I joined the band,
you were in 7th grade at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then right around the time when my friends said we want to start this band, I was like, you know what, I'm really interested in this stuff. This will be cool. And the songs they were suggesting were a lot of fun to play. When I was learning them,
What were they?
We were doing, it's a lot different from the songs I'm playing today. We were doing like Blink-182, The Killers. We were doing Guns N' Roses. And it was fun stuff. Red Hot Chili Peppers we were doing too. And I really enjoyed that a lot. And I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to learn some more songs like this. So I became more serious with my singing, and that's when I started singing more. And it became, the thing that was good with the lessons was they taught me how to play songs when I was taking lessons, but more importantly, they focused on how to play music. So they weren't just saying, all right, this is the next song, we're going to learn this song. And now here's the next song, we're going to learn this song. It was more like, we're learning this song, and we would break the song down and learn about the music and the techniques, and learning those elements of the classical music and chords and intervals and scales and keys, and learning all of that helped me be able to teach myself.
Okay, so you taught yourself the popular style or the rock style that you play.
Exactly.
What about your voice? I mean, when I listen to your samples on your website, I think you have a wonderful voice. I'm a singing teacher, by the way,
okay.
so when I say someone has a good voice,
thank you.
I'm talking about technically, and I heard some influences in your. From my perspective, I heard a little bit of Billy Joel in your singing. Has anybody ever said that to you before?
Yes, a lot.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people tell me I sound like him, actually.
Is he a big influence on your music?
Yeah, he was. I was never a fan of him in the beginning, but as I started learning his songs, I really appreciated it. And that goes for every artist that I've played. A lot of the artists I play I never liked until I started playing them. And I'm like, oh, I have a new appreciation for this, like Bruce Springsteen and Elton John and all those.
So Springsteen is also an influence on you?
A little bit, yeah.
That's so funny because my husband said, when I hear this guy singing, he sounds like a cross between Springsteen and Billy Joel. And there you go.
There you go.
Right, but I also hear your own voice coming through. Did you take any lessons for singing?
No.
Okay.
No, I sang in the plays a little bit, and I had a sense of pitch, so I was able to sing in key, but the problem was shaping my tone over the years. So when I sang at first, it was very nasally, and then as I continued to sing more and more and more, I was able to
figure out
that didn't sound too good. Maybe I should improve this part. And that part didn't sound good. Maybe I should improve that. And slowly but surely, I did that. And in college, I did have a number of vocal professors who led me in the right direction. So I never had formal vocal lessons, but meeting with these professors in college, they were able to say, you can improve on your breathing, or you can improve on this and this. And they really helped me a lot.
Were you a music major in college?
Yes.
Okay, where did you go?
Yeah, William Patterson.
Fantastic. That's where I went as
perfect.
well, and I used to teach there. So we're William Patterson people. How fantastic. I saw some songs on your website that you had written yourself.
Yes.
And I thought they were wonderful. Can you tell me a little bit about your songwriting?
Yeah, so I've written 2 albums now. One of them was with a full band, and one of them was kind of a stripped down acoustic thing where it was just me and the piano. And I'm currently writing some new stuff, hoping for a 3rd album, maybe in the summer, towards the end of the summer. So if all the songs come, then I'm about halfway there at this point. So if I get a couple more songs, then I should be ready to go to record.
Wow. And so are you producing these albums yourself?
I tend to produce all the demos for them.
Okay.
So I don't consider myself a big sound engineer, but I know how to record. So when the song comes to me, I immediately go to my basement. I pull up the keyboard. I'm playing the keyboard part. I'll pull out my bass. I'll play the bass part. I'll sing. I'll make up a drum part with a MIDI track, and then I come up with the basic demo. So I know what the arrangement of the song sounds like. It's not going to be the produced version because it's usually a rough vocal take, just so I know how the song is going to go. So when I do the actual recording, then I know how the song is going to go. I know how to sing it. So I'm producing my own demos, and then I have someone I know who's going to help me record it.
Wow.
Record the masters. So.
And are you going to be performing some of your original stuff on August 17th when we see you here in Park Ridge?
Probably. Yeah, I'll probably pull out a couple of them. So, and hopefully the album will be done around that time. So maybe I'll play all of them. We'll see.
That would be great.
From that, all of the new ones.
Great. So what do you like about doing performances in an outdoor venue? Because I know that you've done some.
The summer is my favorite time of year. So playing outside is always great. It's relaxing. and as long as it's not raining, then then I'm always looking forward to playing outside. But putting down a lot of outdoor events on my calendar is, I'm like crossing my fingers that these things don't
You
get
get a
canceled.
little nervous?
I do get very nervous. And even last year when I did this summer concert, it was raining, or the whole week. It said it was actually the hottest week of the year. That week was supposed to be like over 110 degrees the whole week.
Wow.
And there was only one day where it was supposed to rain, and of course it was the Park Ridge show. It was the Park Ridge show. So I'm like watching the weather all week. I'm like, please don't rain. And sure enough, it did rain. Got my location moved, and the turnout wasn't as big as it would have been if
Well,
it was.
we've got our
as it
fingers
was summer.
crossed already
Yes.
for you.
Yeah, I'm really hoping. And I got a lot of outdoor events on my calendar, so I'm hoping for the best with that.
I can see from your website that you're quite busy playing all the time.
Yeah.
Where are you playing around in the area?
I live in Waldwick, so
Uh-huh.
I play a lot in Bergen County. I play in Ridgewood and Ramsey, Wyckoff, in Waldwick. I play at local bars. So to name a few, the Shannon Rose in Ramsey. I do the Steel Wheel Tavern in Ridgewood. Zozo's in River Vale. That's probably the closest to here I play.
Okay.
The old Vale Bar and Grill. And the Blue Moon in Wyckoff. So those are some of the local places, and then I find myself down the shore a little bit in the summer. So I play at Jimbo's Bar and Grill in Seaside, playing at Nardi's Tavern in Long Beach Island. I'm even playing up in Connecticut, up on the shores of Old Lyme, Connecticut.
What is sort of a challenge that you find playing in those bar-like venues?
It's I don't know. I'd say the biggest challenge maybe is just getting everyone's attention. That's I mean, for the local places, I tend to get a lot of people I know come out to them, so I tend to get.
So you have
good,
a following
Yeah,
there,
I
but then
tend to
you
get a good
walk
turnout.
into a place where they don't know you, and you have to win them over.
Exactly.
And what do you do?
Exactly. I try to be on my game. So if I know, I have, like last week I played at a new venue in Suffern, and I had 6 shows last week, and it was the show in Suffern was the 6th show of the week, and I'm just trying the whole week not to burn myself out, keep my voice in top shape, keep my body in top shape, so I'm not exhausted walking into this place. So I knew that I could do a good job, make sure I get back in there again.
Right.
And sure enough, I did get booked there again, luckily. So, but I was really careful with what I was doing that week.
What is one thing that people who aren't musicians, what is one thing that they don't understand about playing music? If you could tell people one thing about it, what would you say?
Oh, there's a great thing actually I can think of. So with my shows, I tend to pick up requests very quickly. So if someone throws out a song I've never played before, if I've heard it on the radio enough, and if I have the words in front of me, I can get through the song.
That's pretty good.
So, and it's just because I'm familiar with the song so much. And people think that because I could pick up requests like that I could play every song in the world.
Right,
That's
exactly.
what they think. So they'll throw out a song that
That you've never heard
that
before.
I've never even
Right.
heard of. I've never heard of the artist or the song. And they come up and they say, play this song. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And they go, sure you can. Just pull up the lyrics on your iPad. You'll be fine. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I've never heard this song in my life.
Right.
I don't even know how to even start going about this song.
But that song is the center of their world.
Exactly.
How could
exactly.
you not know it?
Yeah, so that's like they expect me to know every song written in the whole world.
So tell me, what does the future hold for you? Where do you see your music career going? And
For me, as long as I'm making a living playing music, that's all I want to do. So I like to take it as far up to the top as possible. So we'll see what happens.
because you're doing these albums.
Yep. So, and more I'm playing more shows every year. So, meeting more people, building the fan base. So that's my main goal right now, is to build the fan base as big as possible. Write the best songs that I can and hope for the best. So, and as
Because
long
you
as,
love what you're doing.
exactly. And as long as I can keep playing 4 to 7 nights a week,
Which is a lot.
yep, making money playing all those shows. So as long as I could do that, build the fan base and write the music, then that's all I want.
Fantastic. Well, we really look forward to seeing your show, and I thank you for coming in and telling us all about your
my
music.
pleasure.
And all
Thank
that.
you for thank you for asking all these questions. It was fun.
Fantastic. I'm here with Larry Stevens, who is going to be doing a show here in Park Ridge on August 24th. Great to have you here, Larry.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So, tell us about what we're going to be hearing.
We're going to be an acoustic electric duo, first of all.
Okay.
So it's kind of broken down, unplugged, and it'll be, we call it now vintage pop rock.
Cool.
Because everybody calls rock and roll either rock and roll or pop rock or classic rock.
I like that term.
But yeah, we came up with vintage pop rock because the songs that we play that are familiar with people, we kind of go all over the board. I mean, it's from Van Morrison to John Mayer to Dion to, so it's a lot of everything. I think there are two things that are the most important thing. One is to engage an audience, and the other is to read an audience.
When did you first realize that you had that ability to move people and get people to respond?
I don't think I really, I've been singing since I was literally 4 or 5 years old. I mean, I really started to sing very young from what I was told. But I didn't, you know, I even took vocal lessons. I was part of different vocal groups when I was a young kid, outside of school and in school. But I don't think I can say that I moved or felt that until I was probably in like middle school, because you don't, there's no outlet to be able to, you know, be a soloist, quote unquote, or
Sure.
be in a band at age, I don't know, whatever. I mean, we had bands.
But you were a
but
kid
But
still.
at 15
Right,
even,
yeah.
and I'm thinking back, wow, you know, my mind, I'm losing it. But even in my teens, when we had bands, you really don't feel that stuff until I think you're mature enough to, you know, let's say you're in high school, and I had a band in high school, and when you're being hired to do a party, or when you're in a show for school, you start really feeling, because obviously people are clapping, they're screaming,
Yeah.
they're whistling. You start to say, oh,
You feel
wow,
the
you know,
power.
there's something there. Yeah, right, exactly.
So you grew up in Montvale.
Yes.
You're a Park Ridge resident now, but you
Yes.
grew up in Montvale.
Yeah.
And you went to Pascack Hills?
Yep.
And what was the name of your band?
It was
Back-
called, that's funny. And the guys that were in the band, they're still, most of them are in the area, and from time to time we run into each other, but it was called Crosswind.
Crosswind.
Yeah.
Cool name.
Yeah.
And so when you're playing this summer here in town, who will you be playing with?
I will be playing with my guitar player. He's a great, his name is Van Manakis, and great guitar player. And I met him, oh boy, probably in 1998 when I moved to Nashville.
Would you like to play something that you've written?
Sure.
Okay. And this is a beautiful instrument too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a Martin, CF Martin. Yeah.
Looking towards Ned there, because we talked about Martin guitars.
Yeah, this
before.
is a beautiful
So
guitar
I want to get
that-
back to the
Yeah,
story, but
yeah.
maybe we want to, in the middle of the story about being in Nashville, the land of writers, I thought maybe we'll have a little
Yeah, okay. You know,
treat from the songwriter.
I'm going to do a song that I wrote with these two great writers. One I still stay in touch with, and in fact, he co-produced our last EP, Heart on Fire. So Jim and I met him also in Nashville. He's from Pennsylvania originally, but he and I have become brothers. And we were writing with this girl that was also a great lyricist, and she was from Connecticut. And we were talking about love. Blah, 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 blah. The story of love.
subject.
The story of love. And this is what we wrote. I'll give you a little
Okay,
piece of this thing.
give me
Yeah.
a little piece of it.
Everyone wonders where I've been. Home for a minute, gone again. Friends are asking what has happened to me. Now Monday night, football game. Tuesday went, Wednesday came, Thursday, Friday, still no sign of me. I never thought it could feel this way. Weekends happen with each new day. Snowflakes fall in the middle of July. That's it. That's all you got. Yeah, that's it.
Well, we have to come back to the show.
Yeah.
You can just hear the rest of it. You sound great, by the way. Your
Thank you.
voice sounds
Thanks.
great, and this guitar sounds as wonderful as it looks.
I'm going to keep teasing
Okay.
like that and
All
just
right.
stop, because this way people will have to come and hear
Right.
the rest of the song.
Well, I'm going to be there, that's
Oh,
for
that's
sure.
awesome.
And
Awesome.
rocking out to it.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so can you tell us a little bit about how you've developed your voice? And
Yeah. I have, from when I was very young, I took vocal lessons. As a kid, because I was always obviously interested in singing. But as I got into my teens, I think it was about 16, I went into New York and I auditioned for a vocal teacher that is no longer here. He's, I'm sure, looking down on me and yelling maybe. But
Breathe.
Right, exactly. But he was in through the nose, out through the mouth. He was a great vocalist himself. He was on CBS Radio, and he taught a lot of actors and actresses, and of course singers, and a lot of Broadway people. And he was the first, I would say, real influence as a teacher to show me breath control and also how to really warm up and and to preserve my voice, as you just
still
said.
warm up?
I do.
Good.
I really do. I still, and it's good because when you do work with a whole bunch of different vocal teachers, you learn different warm-ups. I mean,
Sure.
I have fun. My old cell phone has vocal lessons from my Nashville, because I had a teacher down there that I still, when I would go down, I would see him just because he became...
Well, I have cassette tapes from the 80s.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have them too, and they're, it's like dating yourself, but...
But you should download those onto your computer.
I should.
I'm just
I
kidding.
should, but I should also download a lot of pictures.
So I want to hear you do another tune. Can you
Okay.
show me that wonderful voice?
Sure, you got it. Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did you go and leave you all alone? I got a bad desire. Oh, I'm on fire. Tell me now, baby, is it good to you? Can you do to this thing that I do? I could take you higher. Oh, I'm on fire. Sometimes it's like someone took a knife, baby, edgy and dull. Got a 6-inch valley through the middle of my soul. Oh yeah. That night away go with the sheets soaking wet in a freight train running through the middle of my head. Only you can cool my desire. Oh, I'm on fire.
Wonderful rendition of that song.
Thank you. Thanks.
So what is it? What makes a song or a cover a Larry Stevens song? What is it?
I think it's putting, like this song we do, as you just heard, I make it my own by changing it up a little bit. And I think that's something that's important, that the band does a lot of that. The versions we do are familiar, and people know, oh, that is I'm on Fire by Bruce Springsteen, but we try to throw in my salt and pepper to make it, you know, my sound and what I would do to that song, which is different.
It's
when you
what
listen,
the good cover artists do.
Yeah,
You
that's-
put your own stamp on it.
Right, exactly. So that's something that I feel really strongly about, is to not just always do Brown Eyed Girl the way Brown Eyed Girl's done, you know,
Right.
as a cover. I mean, and we do that song and I love it, but I always change up the ending and I do something that,
Are you going to play that this summer?
yeah, I'll
Good.
play it. For you, I'll play, because the
Okay.
ending is very, we do, I added another song into the ending.
All right.
And we get the audience to keep singing the,
Because I'll be singing along with that, and I'll be harmonizing with
yeah,
you.
so, yeah. All
I
right.
tell everybody,
I like
not
that.
not harmonizing today, but I'll be singing out there this summer. So what does the future hold for you? What are your aims? And
Yeah, basically, I just kind of take day by day. I really do. I mean, we're back in the studio. We are doing a new. I think we're going to do this mostly as like downloads, and I'm not. If we do a CD, quote unquote, it'll be just to have at some of the live shows that we do, because we do have I'd say some of our following, they do like to buy and feel the CD and see the
Sure.
picture. And that's our demographic. But we also do get younger folks that don't really care about that, and they're like, you know, I'll buy the download. So we just started working.
but you can't autograph the download.
No, that's true. That's very true.
So can I hear something from this album? Can you play us out?
The new one?
Yeah.
I can't. The only song I can give you, and I'll give it to you really quick, is Always
Give us
You.
a song. All right.
I'll give you Always You. When's
give
your
me that
birthday?
song.
When's your birthday?
Well, it's November 23rd, but
Ooh, November 11th.
oh,
All right.
okay. So play us out, and then
All right.
we'll.
I will do that.
And for the rest of the music, you'll have to come and see us in the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Here you go. This is for you, Laura.
Thanks.
Happy birthday to you, baby. Another year's gone by. I won't spend my whole life with you till the day we die. A little bit older, so much wiser, so it goes with time. Don't ever change a thing about you. You're perfect in my eyes. I hold you in my heart, forever on my mind. Only you, always you. Only you, always you. I love the way the heads all turn whenever you walk by, and how the Lifetime network movies always make you cry. You set up 10,000 pillows that we tear down every night. As long as I'm the one who always wakes up by your side, I'll hold you in my heart, forever on my mind. Only you, always you. Only you, always you. I'd trade a dozen roses for a picture perfect you. If it's worth 1,000 words, then that's what I will do. It's all for you. Only you, always you. Only you, always you. Yeah. Only you, always you. Only you, always you. Only you, always you. Only you, always you. Thank you very much. I appreciate
That was
it.
so cool. Thanks for playing that.
Yeah.
For chatting.
Yeah.
It's a
You're
pleasure.
welcome. You're welcome. You got it. You got it. It's fun.